responses of our accidents argument. They say that generation they use to get rid of old stuff, and they use only new generation 3. Yeah, that Fukushima can't happen. However, actually, China has minor nuclear accidents all the time. This is an extension of my partner's argument, and 2/3 of them are caused by human error. However, it is impossible to prevent human error from happening at all. And well, they're right that Fukushima won't happen again because, well, as they said, multiple safeguards have been put up. But however, Fukushima was caused by a natural disaster. However, a human error could very likely do the same, well, cause such devastating results. And furthermore, to answer their economy, they say that nuclear power helps the economy, and that if the economy goes down, then there will be a global nuclear war. However, if one accident can damage the whole economy. This is according to could potentially damage the whole economy, or the whole nuclear industry, and everything with it. Okay, and then the next, they say that a global nuclear war will happen. However, a global nuclear war can only happen if people have nuclear weapons and nuclear proliferation. And by Canada's mining, this actually does cause nuclear proliferation, even though they say that China has not been having fissile material and everything, but still, China still has no nuclear weapons, and they will still continue to make these things better. And they say that this nuclear power makes energy secure. However, according to Science Daily 2008, replacing fossil fuels with nuclear power is unsustainable. Such a large growth rate will require major improvement in nuclear power efficiency. Otherwise, each new power plant will simply cannibalize the energy produced by earlier nuclear power plants. This means that if the nuclear power were taken as a major option for the next 40 years or so, we will be in no better position in terms of emissions and reliance on a single major source of energy than we are today, given the enormous growth of nuclear required over that time scale. Okay, and they say that nuclear power is the only option. So I'd like to extend the unsustainable argument and saying that nuclear power doesn't even work. And finally, to answer their argument saying that it reduces global greenhouse gas emissions and solves pollution. Nuclear power produces too many indirect emissions to solve global warming. This is from Pierce 2012. This large growth rate creates a cannibalistic effect where new nuclear energy must be used to supply the energy for future nuclear power plants rather than mitigating GHG emissions. And furthermore, according to methodology, Free University, Berlin Research Center for Environmental Politics, Director 2008, nuclear power produces other gases than CO2 that cause global warming. Indirect emissions will probably rise starkly as ever more fossil fuels energy is required to mine the uranium. At that point, nuclear power plants cease to have the edge. Emissions of other greenhouse gases from nuclear power plants also contribute to the climate change. The radioactive gas krypton-85 fission ionizes air more than any other radioactive material. So this piece of evidence also answers their argument on our coal, saying that coal causes radiation. Nuclear power plant makes krypton-85, which is more dangerous than other radioactive material. And to go to water scarcity, well, expansion of nuclear power devastates fresh water. It's not only coal doesn't do as much as nuclear power does because nuclear power provides it lets out lots of dangerous stuff into the water.
Crossfire.
When you're talking about the Fukushima, are you saying that ours can't, humans can also do the same thing as natural disasters?
No, I'm saying that one human error could cause a big problem in the nuclear power plant.
Okay.
Okay. So you say that there are multiple safeguards. What are they?
They protect the nuclear power plant from leaking, and so that radiation won't.
But are you aware that accidental leaks have occurred in nearly every nuclear plant in the country?
That's saying we're putting up safeguards.
No, but those safeguards, I'm sure all of these decrease.
Like it decreases the box.
But it will still happen, right?
It will decrease. You don't know if it will happen.
That's why we're trying to.
That's why we're trying to we're doing this so that we're using safeguards so that it will protect the power plant from any radiation.
Okay.
How would you know that China will still use their nuclear weapons?
What do you mean? China has nuclear weapons right now.
Yeah, I know.
So, what's your question?
Like, how do you know that they'll use them?
Well, like, as said in your impact of global nuclear war, if China didn't use them, how come there would be a nuclear war?
Because their economy goes down, which causes like people, like all the other countries in Asia to like become.
But China would definitely be involved in this nuclear war, right?
No, they can't because their economy collapsed, so that they can't do it.
Okay, so who's in this nuclear war then?
Like they're in it, like India, Japan, I think.
And it's all because of China's economy, right?
Yeah.
Well, China would be involved in a nuclear war if it were of its own economy in Asia. And China is one of the largest, well, if not the largest country in Asia.
You're saying
So
that.
I'm saying that if it really does escalate to the global nuclear war, China would definitely use its weapons. But in order to prevent them from having or acquiring these weapons, well, by building nuclear power plants, wouldn't it make it easier for them to use?
Well, but most China, most people like when countries have a nuclear power plant, they have to like agree to this like non-proliferation thing, or you have to like can't use.
That's right, but China is using its own fissile material, not the imported.